So it's official. Jaden Rashada has filed to be released from the Florida Gators after apparently what is being discussed as an NIL dispute. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Hightop Sports. I'm your host, Stephen Chutton. Welcome. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, turn the bell on, and let's get right into it. So this has been drama for the last few days now. On3 released this information originally saying that he was asking to be released from his NIL agreement or his agreement with the Florida Gators. But then here's where I'm confused, okay? Because then Jaden Rashada, along with his father, reached out and said, this is not true. We did not do that. Which then put On3, the recruiting site, on absolute blast. The Gator Nation and crew and company went heavy on them, saying, what are you doing? You're trying to railroad the Florida Gators. You're bashing, etc. I was part of this crew because I was frustrated. Like, what's going on? How is this being misreported? And I even said after the fact, if this ends up being true, there needs to be some eyeballs at the father and at Jaden of saying, well, why, if this was going to happen all along, why did you, in a sense, railroad On3 in the process, or were you still on the fence at the time that it was released and it may have been a little bit premature? But what is being stated across multiple platforms, including the likes of ESPN, is that the Gator Collective, which is the NIL affiliate to the Florida Gators, they raise money through the fans, through members, etc., that people are supposed to be donating. Well, apparently they pulled out of a $13 million deal that was supposed to be paid over the course of 4 years to Jaden Rashada. Apparently this started the very initial signing date on December 21st, but Billy was able to overcome that and get Jaden to sign anyways. Obviously, it didn't work out. The deal has still not gone through, which has led to Jaden Rashada to point out from the Florida Gators. Here's where Gator fans, and I think we as fans, are starting to get frustrated because there's a lot of unknown here, especially with the Gator Collective that is asking the fans to donate monthly, anywhere from $1 to $5 to $10, even to $100, even more. Right? And we want to know what's happening. Why are these deals being dropped? There was a case that happened earlier on this year where John Ruiz called out the Gator Collective, that they were handling things uncertainly, that they were promising things they couldn't promise. And the Gator Collective wrote a letter and put it out there and said, no, that's not true, etc., and defended themselves, which I thought was very honorable because, look, people are going to make claims at you, and if you have to defend it and back it up, well, now claims are coming out and nothing is being said. We're getting radio silence from all platforms, from the Gator Collective, from Florida, and it's starting to be concerning of like, did we actually drop the ball on this? And people are afraid to say what actually happened. Now, I want to read a tweet from you that came from the Gator Collective today on January 17th. It said, topic of the day, does the Gator Collective facilitate NIL deals negotiated and funded by third parties? Yes. Gator Collective writes contracts that its members fund directly. Gator Collective also writes contracts that third parties, such as businesses, negotiate and fund. I don't know if that's the passive way of them saying like, hey, we wrote a contract that a third party would be funding this situation and they have pulled out. Therefore, we kind of got ourselves into a predicament that we can't get out of. That could be the case, and the Gator Collective is now tied because they do not want to ruin that relationship that they have with that third party because, again, maybe that third party comes in later on and pays a deal. But this is the biggest concern about NIL in the first place, is that it's going to be a pay-to-play. Here's where we're at. It is pay-to-play. But if you are the Florida Gators, you need to act on this immediately, whether it's getting in front of it, whether it's a press release, because it's not a good look. Now, they've had a ton of recruits over the past weekend. Maybe there's more behind the scenes that we can't see. Maybe something happened with the background check of Jaden Rashada. And what I mean by that is, like, look, they looked at something and they saw, like, hey, we're not as committed as we once were. We're not as bought in to the Jaden Rashada situation or the Jaden Rashada, guy as we were originally. I don't know. There's just so many things that are unknown, and this is what's causing this uproar, and for it to be this, it could be bigger than what it actually is. Now my question is, what's going to happen with Jaden Rashada? Is he going to be able to sign? He's got until February 1st to sign with a new school, or is he going to go basically forego his freshman year, just redshirt somewhere because he can't early enroll anywhere now, and now he's losing a year of development? Does he have a case against the Florida Gators and the Collective to sue them? Because, again, he is losing that year now, and a lot of it feels that it could be because the Gators pulled out on a promise. Again, he was committed to Miami. Florida made a promise, forced him in, essentially could have been forcing him into this deal. Not forcing him, right, but promised him a deal, which he wanted to be a Gator. That's been stated multiple times. Now he finds himself in the situation of, like, I just got screwed because you promised me something. Now, I know what you're going to say. This kid should be getting paid $13 million. And that's a whole other conversation for a whole other day, and I could agree with you all day long. However, if you are promised something and you show up expecting something, you should get it. That's not on Jaden Rashada. That's on the Gator Collective, the Florida Gators. however you choose to look at it. That's where the other part comes into play. Is Billy to blame here? Or is it just the collective? Because essentially how this is supposed to work is the Gator Collective should not have any type of conversation with Coach Billy. And I've seen some people calling for Coach Billy's head. 247 said the other day, well, Billy needs to lock this down. It sounds like he got Jaden to sign before the money was done. So he did his part, but it's only going to go so far where the kid's like, no, like I'm not getting what I was promised. Sorry, Billy, I want to play with you, but I was promised from a third party because that's how it seems to be operating now, that I was going to get this, and now I'm not. Billy and the NIL are not allowed to talk. There's not allowed to be any type of conversation with that. And it's supposedly not, the NIL should not have any type of conversation with recruiting. I've had conversations with collectives. That has been told to me multiple times that they can't, that's called tampering. So now that they're being claimed for this, I don't know how much of it's really true. And it's really starting to piss me off as a fan and as just somebody who's involved with all of this of like, we need to know more. Somebody needs to speak up and say, hey, here's what's going on. And don't say, no, it's none of your business. Bullshit. We're donating. We come out, we watch. We buy gear. We buy merch. We should know what's going on. We shouldn't be getting it from a third-party source like ESPN or 247 who are talking to multiple people and creating stories, because there's multiple stories on different platforms, however you want to look at it. We need to know what's going on because we need to know what's going on with our money and what's happening and how the future is going to hold with more recruits into the future. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? I know you guys are going to be hot and frustrated for Gator fans. If you're a non-Gator fan watching this because you're here probably to troll, let me know what you think about the entire situation. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.